Right. How do I even start this? I guess welcome. My name's Mara. I'm a creative person and I'm trying to build a creative community around me as well as encourage other people to listen to their creative voice. This is the thing that I've been doing for the last couple of months and it has truly been the most transformational phase of my life. And I think that everyone should experience listening to their inner voice, being themselves, and finding out what true life is, because before this I was very burnt out from the chaos of life, from university, from the stress of the society, and now I feel like this is the place that I found shelter in, and I really want to share this with other people. And actually, I'm not gonna blab too much, but this week I'm remaking my spring wardrobe and I'm really happy to have you along. Okay, so here's the plan. I've realized that through my sewing journey, I have been making so many patterned pieces of clothing, patterned pants, patterned tops, patterned everything. So my goal today is to make some very nice basics that are still interesting, at least in color or shape. That's my challenge for this spring, and I've come up with a couple patterns or inspiration ideas to do just that. We have three categories. The first one are pants, and I think this one is the one that I'm most excited for because I'm most in need of. Initially, I planned on making two pairs of pants. The first one, the Arthur pants, which I have made before in an animal print. I'm in love with them. There are a couple tweaks that I do want to change, for example, the length of the pants. But I think those would be so cute in a plum color, like a deep, rich, mauvey plum. That would be so cute. And the second pair of pants are gonna be the Niki pants by Iggy Patterns. That's a mouthful, but I think they're so cute. The element with the eyelet on top is so interesting, yet it doesn't like need to catch your eye. You can still wear an interesting top with it. So I think they're the perfect pair of pants, and I'm gonna be making these in blue. And throughout the week, you're gonna see that I sneakily went to the fabric store and found a third pair of pants that I would like to do, and these are gonna be the lanes. I love lane pants. I have almost all my pants are lane pants, but when I saw this canvasy material, I had to make them in that as well. So I'm gonna include like a little snippet of me doing them, but they were like a side project mostly, but you're gonna see the reveal at the end of how they turned out. Next category is tops, and here I sneakily bought a fabric that does have a pattern, but I had to, when I saw this in the fabric store, I had to buy it. And I already had in mind the fact that I've seen this vintage top on my Etsy, so I just had to put the two together, and I think it's gonna turn out amazing. I really like that it has a long sleeve, and I really am in need of that because this is a spring wardrobe, but the Netherlands is super cold still, so I do need a long sleeve top, so this pattern is perfect. And the next one is a pattern that is true to my heart because it's the first pattern that I've ever made and is the dupe of the Ganni top. And I think it's so cute. I will probably lengthen it a little bit more because I do want those ruffles to peek through when I do a layering outfit. And these are the tops that I'm gonna be making. Last category on my list are accessories, and here I'm specifically talking about one thing, and are these hip scarves that I keep seeing on my Pinterest. And every time I see them, I always think that that's such a smart way to do it, only because sometimes I just want to have a white t-shirt and some boring pants on, but I still want some depth or something interesting in my outfit, and adding just a random hip scarf, I don't know if it's called a hip scarf, by the way. I probably just invented this, but adding a hip scarf to your outfit can make any outfit more interesting. So I'm trying to make a couple. I want to make some lacy ones, I want to make some linen ones, I want to make some cottony ones. I'll see where I get off with that. I feel like this is a good palette cleanser if I try a new pattern and then sometimes I get frustrated and I just want to do something simple. just to like regain my confidence in sewing. I feel like this is a great one, but we'll see when I get to it. So to wrap everything up, we have 2 pair of pants, 2 tops, and an accessory. And let's see how long this takes me, because I feel like it's gonna take me a long time. I also work, I'm a freelancer, and I work at the studio here in Amsterdam doing all kinds of creative stuff, and I have to be there a couple times a week. So we'll see when I find the time to do all of these things, but I cannot wait for this new wardrobe. Let's get started. As I said, I'm most excited about the Iggy Patterns Niki pants, so it's time to put the pattern together. I forgot to say that for some of them I already have patterns because I've made them before. For some of them I just ordered the patterns and I have to print and put them together. The Niki pants are one of the ones that I need to put together, so let's get on with that. The pattern is all taped up and now I need to figure out which size I'm supposed to make. Because it starts off with the more interesting parts. So usually for pants is like you construct the shell, which is like you do the crotch, the inseam, everything, and at the end you add like the fun parts or like the closures or stuff like that. But this pattern already had me started with like the interesting parts. So I actually have the front part all sewn up, and then we moved on to the little extra pieces, flaps, on which the grommet also goes. So I am going to install the eyelet right now. I am a bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I have never done it. I've had like the hand one that you just like clamp on and it does like the closures, but I have never done one that you need to hammer down. So let's see how this goes. The grommet is in. I thought that was gonna be so much easier, but it's not. It's actually a lot of hammering. I feel like I've disturbed this whole building, and at the end I kind of also stopped doing it, even if like I feel like on this side it's a bit flatter than on this side. I don't know if that's visible, but I was hammering so much and I couldn't get it to be like just as flat, and it's 100% secure. The flatness can be seen only on like the wrong sides. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna disturb all of my neighbors anymore. Maybe a bit later or tomorrow I will do it some more. But this is how the exterior looks and I am super happy with it. I really like this kind of like industrial look that it gives it to these pants, and I love silver. So I love this, but now I'm a bit tired, so I think I might take the night off, or at least I'm not gonna film because the sun is going down and my apartment has very bad lightning. So I'll either continue on working while I watch something or like calmly do maybe 2 or 3 more steps, and otherwise I'll see you tomorrow. Right. So as expected, I almost finished my pants in the same night. Here is where I'm at, but I do have a couple things to mention. So the pattern is a great pattern, but it has so many, you can do this or that and choices, and I got a bit confused at a certain point. And I'm a very see and do kind of person. That's why I love patterns that have pictures. That's like my favorite kind of pattern instruction. So at a certain point I just kind of like went off my gut, tried the pants on, see what works, what didn't work, what I like, how they look and stuff like that. So the pattern actually has an option to put a zipper in. I'm pretty sure it's like zipper but no like this part, eyelet. But I think the original one was just like this to have the only closure system, but that was not enough for me because I felt like I couldn't get it up my butt and through my hips, and then it would be like too big on my waist. So I've ended up actually putting in a zipper, which was not planned, and the color of the zipper can definitely tell you that I didn't plan for the zipper. But it's okay because it's kind of like hidden under this flap, so you cannot see it when I wear them. So that's great. And then the fit of the pant, I love so much. They're wide and then they're also very long. I think I left extra length on the bottom because I wanted them to be like super long on the bottom before I hem them. So here's where we're at. The only problem I have with what I've made is the fact that the zipper that I had is very like short. Not very, but not long enough to kind of like get through my hips when I put them on. So essentially when I tried putting them on, this is what happened. A hole, and I'm also very unhappy with how I put in the zipper. So I'm off to go buy a zipper that matches the color and is longer so that it can go down all the way that I need, so I can put them up, zip them up, and then do the little eyelet and tie thing. But besides that, secretly I've worn them yesterday at work and they were great. I love them so much. They're fitting me right. I love everything about them. I just need to finish the zipper situation here and then we're gonna be done. So I think we can already cut to the review. Okie dokie, it's a new day and I have fresh new sewing energy. The last project was new pattern, new project, trying to figure out what size to make, how to make them, how I like my pants to be. So I'm ready for something that I know how to do, a pattern that I've done before, and just kind of like relax and do it. So today we're making the Ganni top. I have my white sheet out. I realized this is actually a thrifted, like elasticated bed sheet, but it's like a one bed, like a twin size, I don't know how you call them, but like for one person bed, and we have obviously a king bed. So I'm going to cut into it and I'm going to iron it and then start working on my Ganni top. I'm actually super excited to like relax and just like almost go in autopilot, but in the same time try to be present and enjoy sewing. I've cut everything and I had a little bit of a problem with the material because I realized that that material wasn't thrifted. It was given to me by my sister because her cats messed it up. So it has some scratches and some like cat paw prints. I don't know from where, I don't know. They looked a bit like muddy, maybe. So I had to kind of take some parts out and I didn't have like all the free space area to cut my fabric from, but I've managed to do a pretty good job. The only thing I had to give up on were the sleeves. As I said, I was thinking of making them maybe like 3/4 of the way, but I did not have enough fabric for that. So we have the normal Ganni sleeve that is just short and nice, so you can make it poofy. I did make a couple variations in which I just didn't add the elastic because I felt like sometimes that elastic was bothering me too much and I just wanted my pants to be free. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one either. Maybe I'll just have like some nice straight sleeves, or maybe I'll poof them up. I'll have to see, but they are not 3/4 of the way. Okay, so I lied about ironing my fabric before. I have to iron all of my pieces now and we're ready to get on sewing. I am ironing the white fabric and the fabric itself is so nice. It's like, I think 100% cotton because it has a nice feel. The texture is super nice and it's super soft, but it's ironing so difficultly. Is that even a word? It's very difficult to iron and I don't know why. I don't think my iron is the problem. So I'm already imagining how much trouble I will have with this when I wash it, when I wear it. Because like right now, okay, from one time when I sew, it will be fine. But it's something that I will constantly wash and have to have like nice and ironed. Look at this. I've already been ironing it twice. I don't know if you can actually see anything. But it's not nice and crisp, and I'm just gonna embrace it, and I'm just gonna probably air dry it like on a hanger, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, right? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So the first part is done, and probably the easiest. It looks kind of like a little vest. I'm super happy with it, besides the ironing problem, but I will give it a wash, try to dry it as straight as possible, and then see if this is gonna be a problem. But also, I failed to mention that my iron does have a little problem. The steam button doesn't work, so I'm only relying on the steam that it's making while I'm ironing normally, because here you can also have the like steam or no steam while you iron. So that's the only steam I'm getting, which I know is kind of bad, so maybe that's the problem. I hope I can fix this button and also try to dry this in a manner that it's not gonna be a problem, the amount of wrinkles it has. But yeah, we're ready to start on the frill part, which I'm actually very excited for. I love, love, love ruching. So, not ruching, gathering fabric. So, let's get on with that. And then we have sleeves and bias tape. One other little hack I've done to the Ganni top is make it a bit longer. Let me see if I can show you. So it's laying like right on my booty, and that's because I wanted it to be a layering piece as well. So if I have a vest, a sweater, a jacket that's like a bit cropped, I want the white ruffles to kind of like poke through. And I just did guesswork here. I just cut when I did this part of the pattern, just cut it a bit bigger than it was supposed to be. So basically just my guess, and I think it's super cute. I'm in love with Ganni tops. I don't know why I'm not making more now that I'm making it, and I'm also having such a nice time with making it because I've made so many for like friends, orders, probably also myself, but they weren't great. So yeah, as I said, I scrapped them. But I'm having such a nice relaxing time, and I'm probably gonna make more of these. I don't know if you even see anything because my long sleeve is also white, so I don't know if any of it is visible, but we have some finishing touches, sleeves, and then bias on the neckline, and then down here also the little straps. But now that I'm thinking, should I make it with a different closure system? I do have some, what do you call the I forget the name. Snap closures. They were called snap closures, and I do have everything for them. So I might actually add them to my Ganni, because one other thing that I didn't like about the Ganni was the fact that Ganni top is the fact that every time I would put it on, I could still see like my skin underneath the thighs. So even if I would like have them very closed, like obviously in the gaps you could kind of still see. And I'm someone who doesn't wear bras or bralettes. I'm 100% free the nipple, and I have been since high school because it's just so much more comfortable. And who am I to wear bras for the male gaze? I'm not comfortable in them. I'm confident as is, so why wear them? So with this in mind, I was thinking that maybe snap closures would be better, because it's also winter and I kind of don't want the cold air to kind of be underneath my shirt at all times. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do the snap closures. Okay, now I'm just so much more excited. With snap closures, my biggest tip is double checking whether your male and female parts are perfectly centered. And what I mean by that is, after I've done my female part, so the flat part on my left side, I went back on my right side, and even though I already made markings of where they have to go, I double checked if those markings are perfectly centered with the whole of the female part. So when I did the male part, before actually clipping it on, I checked to see exactly where that place where the snap has to close is, in order for everything to be perfectly aligned, because otherwise it might be lopsided like that, and we don't want it. I've never had this happen with snap closures, but I've had it happen with buttons and buttonholes. So I've done the buttonholes, and then I didn't check to see if my markings for the buttons were perfectly aligned, and then I had to do and redo those buttons actually a couple times that night, and I was traumatized. And now I know better, and especially with snap closures, I have no clue how to take them out without ripping a hole into my garment. So I double checked before putting them in, and this is my biggest tip for you all. And here's where we are at. I absolutely love it. The buttons go from like the top all the way to where the ruffle starts. So I didn't do any buttons here because, I mean, it's below my waistline, my belly button. I don't really care if it's open or not. And I think it looks cute as is. I don't know still if you can see anything because my long sleeve is white and this is also white. But here is where we are at. I think I'm ready for a little break, and then I'm gonna go to fabric store and buy a couple more things. I've made a list so I don't keep going to the fabric store 1,000 times. Actually, the store I'm going today is not fabric store, but it's a store that sells buttons, zippers, I don't know what's called. They don't really sell fabric, just like trim, bias tape, just like the technical parts, but not the fabric part. I'm still super excited for it because I like to look at all of the knickknacks there, the special buttons, and it's owned by this cute older couple. So I'm gonna take a break, go there, and when I come back, I still have sleeves left, and I will possibly start on one of the hip skirts tonight because I might have actually done one more sleeve. I got a bit carried away and I had enough energy for one more, but now I'm out of energy. And I need to remember that sometimes if I'm not tired and if I'm like fresh, I can actually do a better job. So this is a point where I should like stop, take a break, do something else, go out for a bit or whatever, do some errands, and then come back and do the other sleeve, even though we're like home stretch. And probably if I would be like super excited by it, I would like power through it, but I would also probably be unhappy with something. So I'm taking a break. The one sleeve turned out great. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do an elastic, but I ended up doing it because I think it is cuter at the end of the day. However, I did do like super loose elastic because the problem with the elastic before was that I was always doing it very tight, and I always felt like something was like super tight on my arms the whole day, and I was annoyed with it. And at the end of the day, I was like, oh, cannot wait to take this damn top off of me. So for some of them, I actually think I ripped off the elastic because I couldn't take it anymore. But with this one, I did do an elastic because I do like a little bit of poofiness in my sleeve, but I did it very, like you can see, there's a lot of space with this one. So here's where we are at right now. I'm gonna take a break, do some errands, take a breather, have some air, maybe knit a little bit, and then towards the end of the day, come back, do the other sleeve, and yeah, my top's gonna be ready. It's a new day, a new week actually, because it's Monday, and I am back with fresh energies and a lot of curiosity, I will call it. So I'm ready for a new adventure. That means a pattern that is a bit more challenging, because last time I did the Ganni top, which I was super acquainted with, so I knew all the steps, but today we're going back to being adventurous. So these are the Arthur pants I previously made, and this is the fabric that we're working with today. It's also gonna have quite a different drape because this definitely has a little bit more structure to it, so I'm super excited to see how that looks. Are they gonna be like jeans? I'm like super curious. I don't know what to expect. And yesterday I also went and got, or a couple days ago, the zippers that I need. When I went to the store, they only had a 15 centimeter metal one, and I think these pants require a 17 or 18. I'm not sure. I'm gonna correct myself here if that's wrong. So the correct color, they only had the 15 centimeter one. And then I also got one that's like out of plastic, but it's actually quite, yeah, it's quite sturdy, I'm gonna say. So I got, I think this 30 centimeters. Yeah, this is 30 centimeters. And I just wanted to make sure that I don't have to go back again. And yeah, I'm gonna try with the metal one first. And if that doesn't work, I'm just gonna do the plastic one. I don't care that much, and it also has a zipper fly, so it's not like out in the open. You can't even see it. And I'm sure that this is more than sturdy enough to actually hold my pants on me, which is the end goal, right? Okay, my friend is coming over and we're gonna have a little sewing day together. We're both making pants. She's making the Lane pants, I'm making Arthur pants, and I'm super excited. So I think I will start cutting my fabric before she comes, and then I'm gonna have quite a nice sewing day, which is great for the Arthur pants because they have flat felt seams, and that takes a long time. So we're gonna yap and sew, and at the end of the day I will hopefully, or maybe tomorrow, have a new pair of pants that I'm super excited for. All my pattern pieces are cut, and I've also pinned them together because before my friend gets here, I'm trying to get as much of the sewing done as possible because we only have one serger, one sewing machine. I don't need the serger at all, which is great, but I'm trying to get some of the like prep work because, as I said, I'm doing flat felt seams. So first I'm gonna sew a whole long line here, and then it's a lot of tedious ironing, folding, cutting, so that I can do the flat fill seams. So I've prepped all of my pant pieces, so both pant legs, front and back, with little pins, and now I'm just gonna do the one line sewing, and then I can start flat felt seaming my seams, which is something that I actually think is super therapeutic because you just cut, fold, and then iron and sew at the end. So here's where we're at for now. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be super prepped up for my friend when she comes here. We're gonna sit and talk and also sew, and none of that happened. I was gonna do a couple seams before she came so I can flat fill all my seams while she's here. But from the second I started sewing, like my first line, my needle broke. I wanted to change it. The needle fell through the whole machine and I lost it. So then I had to take out all my machine. Thank you, Anna, for helping me with that, by the way. And yeah, then I realized it's super dirty, and then I've done some maintenance on it. I never oiled my machine, so I was like, this is the perfect moment to do it. I oiled it. Now it runs super smoothly, so that's a plus, I guess. But then my friend came over and we talked way too much and I have no pants done. So it's the next day. I am ready to actually do these pants. I did flat fell one of the seams, but I didn't even sew it down. That's how much we talked. And we have pockets. Super cute. So both of the back panels are ready. I'm ready to put them together, and then we're gonna work on the zipper fly, which I have done for the Arthur pants last time I did it, but I totally forgot, like wiped memory. I couldn't tell you, gun to my head, how to put the zipper fly, so I'll definitely look up a tutorial again. And the only thing that I'm gonna change about these pants is that they have flat felt seams on the both, like in the front and in the back, but then also the way you join your back panels and front panels is also with flat felt seams, or I think maybe they even mention French seams on some of the seams, maybe like the crotch area is a French seam. But to me, that doesn't give such a big difference. And also, I feel that would be a bit bulky considering the fabric that I'm using today. So I'm just gonna serge everything else. I flat felt seam the middle, down the middle, because that gives it a nice aspect. But then for the side, like side of the pants, I don't really see a difference. I actually would see the difference in bulkiness. So I've decided just to serge. So here we go. Well, guess who's been working in the past couple of days and did not get time to film anything? This one. But the pants are ready. In one of the days after I got back from work, I finished the outer seams and then inner seam and made sure everything is nice and crisp. And in the other day, I also put in the waistband. The pants are in the wash right now because sometimes when I finish a project, I like to also wash it just to make sure nothing's fraying and everything's set into place. I actually got to wear them a little bit at work, but I've done some changes since then because there was a lot of bagginess in like the crotch area and the inner seam was very big, like everything was, there was a lot of fabric. So I also did a little bit of adjusting there, and now they're finally ready, and here's the review. And with the Arthur pants ready, I am getting started on the last top, the vintage top that I'm gonna be making in this cute pattern, and I'm very excited. I'm not gonna blab too much, so let's get to, actually I have to put the pattern together first and then cut my fabric. It's a couple days later. Very clearly not the same day, and probably you can guess that there is no vintage top done or any updates on it, and that's only because I have cut my thumb the very next probably 30 seconds after that video whilst I was putting the pattern together. I'm not gonna say too much actually. There was a lot of blood and I let my finger like fully get better before I do anything else because I was a bit afraid of the wound opening up again. There were no stitches though, so I'm back on track. I've already put the pattern together properly now and also cut all of the pieces of the checkered fabric that I think is super cute and I'm super excited for. And today I have a day full of sewing. I'm just gonna be cozy at home. My friend is coming again and we're gonna be sewing together, hopefully this time a little bit more than last time on my part. And another addition to this video, don't judge me, please don't judge me. I went to the fabric store and I found this gorgeous like olivey, yellowy, green kind of fabric, and I could not buy it. I have to make some lane pants out of them, out of this fabric. I've washed it and that's probably gonna happen today. So I guess I'm making 3 pair of pants in this video. Even these look super cute. Okay, I need to stop looking at how cute the fabrics are and get my sewing on. everyone, keep your fingers crossed, your toes crossed, your positive vibes up, because I'm planning on finishing this weekend. And I'm super close. As you can see, I'm already wearing the last top that we're making, and I'm already in love with it. I'm already thinking of making a version of this that actually has short sleeves, like just to be a little top for the summer, and I will probably in the future. But for now, we need to still add the sleeves. I actually changed the sleeves a tiny bit because I felt like, even in the picture, they're a bit short. And also in the pattern, when I looked at the piece that I had to cut, they were a bit short. And after I cut them, I still feel like they're a little bit short. So there's also like a little cuff that goes on it. So I'm not losing hope. I think it's probably gonna be fine. But we still have sleeves to add. And before I do that, I will say that I would love for this top to have like these shoulders. I feel like when I'm moving, they kind of like, they're doing something funny. It's also probably from the inner facing and the iron-on facing, but I think I'm gonna just pinch in a little bit at the shoulders, because I think that would look so much better even on like my waist, on this part that is tapering out. I think everything would just sit better. So I'm gonna change the little parts on my shoulders, add sleeves with the cuffs, and I still have to hem the bottom of this. But besides that, we're almost there. This one is for sure getting done today. And then we only have the hip skirts part, which I think are gonna go super fast. In the beginning, I said that I will use those as palette cleansers, but apparently I haven't. I'm doing all of them at the end, but I'm super excited, and I think it's gonna add so much value to all of my outfits. So less blabbing, more sewing, and I'm getting on that right now. Is all hemmed up, and also the shoulders have been shortened or like pinched in, and now I'm super happy with how it fits the like main body of the top. So this is ready. However, I am having some troubles with the sleeves. So in the original pattern, I think the sleeves were like elbow length, maybe even a bit more than the elbow, like almost 3/4 of a way. And when I was cutting the pattern pieces, I was like, this is very short. I should probably lengthen it. So I did, but apparently I didn't enough. Yeah, this is like definitely not as long as I wanted them to be. So I feel like the whole purpose of me doing this top is the fact that it had a long sleeve. Now I don't know how to fix that, because it's not like I can put a seam down the middle, can I? And just like make the sleeve longer, but then I don't have enough fabric to recut sleeves. So right now I think I have to cut the sleeves short and just have like poofy small sleeves. But that defeats the whole purpose of me choosing this pattern, because I chose it because it had long sleeves. So what do I do now? Yup, this is not enough for even a sleeve, let alone 2 sleeves. So I think I have to make the call. I have to shorten the sleeves. It is what it is. Well, at least now I know the pattern. And now I know, like, the next time I do it, I'll know exactly how much to cut. And I'm probably gonna make this pattern again because I really like how the body of it fits. So I think I'll just have to be okay with having 2 tops that have like a poofy short sleeve. sleeves and then done exactly what I was supposed to do on the long version but on this short version. And I want to mention that you remember what I said about the fact that the elastic on the Ganni top was kind of like irritating me and I didn't really like how it felt. And that's why sometimes I left the Ganni top without any like poofy sleeve and took out the elastic. Well, this top actually has a bias tape at the bottom, which is genius because I've basically already like ruched and like made all the sleeve puffiness already, so it doesn't depend on an elastic band, but I still can have like the nice poofiness and the comfort of things all in one. So that's something that I really like about this pattern. And now I've cut it so that it's like probably hitting right before my elbow, which I think is okay. I think I was hating anything from my elbow if it's not like until my wrist. So anything in this area I don't like, but anything from like shoulder to elbow is fine. Like 3/4 of the way, like this is half of the way. 3/4 I'm not a fan of. Either it's full length, short, or halfway. 3/4 not my vibe. If you like that, I've seen some great outfits with that. Just personally on me, I just don't like how it feels or how I look. But yeah, I'm happy that I could fix this. Now I just need to attach the sleeves to the main body and I am done with all of like the big ones. Then it's just the hip skirts, which are gonna go super fast and quickly. So I think we can already cut to the reveal probably, because I just have basically one more step to go with this. Okay, I've realized that this video is ridiculously long, so I'm just gonna leave the final shots of the hip scarves here. I have a full tutorial over on my Instagram, and if you've been watching this whole way, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.